American boxer Antoine Eccles has predicted Anthony Mundine won't last 5 rounds when the pair fight for the vacant WBA super middleweight belt Wednesday week. Eccles, who arrived in Sydney this morning, cast doubts over Mundine's defensive skills. Mundine isn't the only Australian with his eyes on the prize. 2 other local hopefuls are hard at work chasing world titles.
He may not be as well known as Anthony Mundine and Danny Green among Australian boxing circles, but he's determined to change that situation. For over a year, Hussein Hussein has been ranked the world's #1 flyweight contender by 3 of boxing's leading authorities. On October 14 in Thailand against WBC champion Pongsaklek Wonjongkam, the 27-year-old will finally gain a shot at the title.
Yes, the time has come and finally I get the chance to do it on October 14th in Bangkok in front of his home crowd and hopefully snag that title away from him.
I think he's a flyweight. We make the weight very, very easily, where Jeff Fennick, had to move up through weights because I had weight problems. Hussein don't have any problems at all with his weight, and hopefully he'll unify and be the unified flyweight champion of the world.
Hussein has an unblemished record, winning 17 of his 22 professional bouts by knockout. It's a fact that has some experts predicting a bright future for the 27-year-old.
I've always thought that Hussein Hussein was Australia's best prospect for a future world title. I think he's got the ability, the skills, the demeanour to become a world champion.
But for the immediate future, Team Fennick will have their eyes on super middleweight contender Danny Green when he takes on WBC champion Markus Beyer on August 16.
As a trainer, all my boys train hard, but I think Danny's done everything that I've asked of him, and like I said, it's my job to make sure he's in the ring, 100% right on that night, and I'll make sure that happens.
Robert Grasso, SBS Sport.
And joining me now in the studio is Team Fennick's #1 boxer, super middleweight knockout specialist Danny Green. Danny, thanks for coming in tonight.
Thanks very much for having me, Liz.
Now, good news there for Hussein Hussein, but the focus for you is obviously your own world title fight in Germany for the WBC belt. How are your preparations going?
Yeah, as you said, it's terrific news firstly for Hussein Hussein. He's a very, very accomplished fighter, and he's been waiting a long time for a world title shot, and he really deserves it. And he's a great little fighter and a great inspiration to all the boys down the gym. So I wish Hussey all the best. And preparations are coming on terrific for the world title shot I've got coming up on August the 16th. I think it's telecast here in Australia live on Sunday morning on Main Events.
Good to get that plug in.
Exactly, got to get that plug in, Liz. And yeah, so we've been training very, very hard. We were staying out at the Novotel out there at Sydney Olympic Park out there, and Jeff had us in a training camp for a couple of weeks, just up at 6 in the morning and running very, very hard. And he was giving us some torturous sessions there on the man-made hills, the man-made pyramids, and then into the gym, training and sparring and all the necessary work that goes along with preparing for a world title. And it's been terrific.
Well, you're certainly looking dangerous there in the ring, and Fennick's really talking you up. He's extremely confident, but your record's impeccable: 16 professional fights for 16 wins, all by knockout. You're a dangerous man. And the last, of course, was against Jason Dalal in Sydney. It's a big step up to take on German Markus Beyer, who's a 2-time world champion. Obviously, you must be confident you're ready.
Definitely, Jeff and I've been training very, very hard, and I guess I've made a hell of a lot of improvement in the last year. I guess that's probably been the most improvement I've made in my whole boxing career to date. Jeff's got me working on my lateral movement a lot more, and not just standing in front and trying to bang the guys out of there and trying to slip and move and use my hips a lot more. And my power's increased because I've just started to use my hips and my shoulders and my feet all together in one motion instead of trying to jerk the punches. And it's a big step up. This guy's a 2-time Olympian, a world amateur champion, a 2-time professional world champion. He's lost 1 fight in 28 fights. So it's obviously a big step up in class, but we believe that, and I firmly believe that I'm very, very capable of taking the title. And it's the WBC title, which is probably the most prestigious world title out there. Jeff's been a WBC world title a couple of times, and it's unreal. It's the chance that I have to become, I think, the 8th Australian to win a world title, and I'm very confident going into the fight, and I'm looking forward to going to Germany, into his hometown, into his backyard, and taking the title from him.
Now, Bay is a southpaw, and you haven't fought a southpaw as a professional. How are you going to approach it? Like, what difference will it make to you?
There's just a few little different adjustments that we've got to make. Jeff's got me, obviously working with a lot of southpaws in the gym. I've got, a very good sparring coming down to the gym, and obviously their right hand is their lead and their right leg's forward, as opposed to an orthodox fighter where your left hand and your left foot's your lead. So just a few little adjustments you have to make, but at the end of the day, he's got 2 hands that he's trying to hit me with, and I've got, 2 targets, his head and his body, to hit at the same time. So really there's just a few little small minor adjustments to make, but at the end of the day, it's whoever wants to win the fight the most.
Now looking at another super middleweight world title fight, but it's a WBA fight. Anthony Mundine takes on Antoine Eccles next week. How do you think?
It's tough, you know. It's a big call. I'm kind of just focusing more on my fight. The WBA is a world title. I think it's already owned by Svenoki, the IBF and WBA champion. So I'm not sure, you know, how the outcome of this fight's going to go. You know, everyone knows obviously that Anthony's avoided me for a year and a half now. He's talked it up and said he wants to fight me. That's no problem, and you know, all the best to Anthony. But you know, I'm really not focused on him. I don't think Anthony's ever going to fight me. He knows, I think, the outcome of the decision of the fight, and he's been very smart in avoiding me. And we're just concentrating on our fight. And you know, I'm very lucky to have a great support team coming over with me. I've got you know, my whole family and all my friends coming over. My brother Brennan, and I've got some, you know, the guys down at the Ritz Hurstville, Steve Bowden there, who owns the pub down there. He's actually coming over with us to do security, because sometimes over there the fights they get a bit funny, and the Germans, they're going to try, you know, upset us, you know, by knocking on the doors late at night and, you know, keeping us up at night. So we're going to have a few guys over there doing security and looking after us, and going to have a lot of support.
I'm sure you'll fix them up. Look, thanks for your time tonight. Good luck August 16, and I'm sure you'll bring the world title back home to Australia.
Thanks very much for having me on, Liz.
Thank you. Thanks, Danny.